In today's news story, we're going to be looking at the geography of Africa. Now we go to Carl, who will tell us about the continent as a whole.
Thanks, Ted. I just love talking about the geography of Africa. The continent is surrounded by 4 lovely bodies of water. The Atlantic Ocean to the west, which is the second largest ocean, the Mediterranean Sea to the north, and the Red Sea to the east, which isn't actually red, and then the Indian Ocean to the east again. And did you know that it's the warmest ocean? Just like your grandmother's nice warm buttery biscuits or those hot fresh now doughnuts or Krispy Kreme.
Carl?
Huh? What?
The geography of Africa?
That's my favorite subject. It's also bound by the South Sea to, you guessed it, the west.
No, Carl, south. It's south.
Just what I said, Mr. Mysterious Man hiding behind the shiny box. Some other interesting facts about the continent are that it's the second largest continent in the world, second only to Asia. It's also 3 times larger than Europe, but Europe has 4 times the amount of coast, which is crazy. Africa also has very few islands, the largest of which being Madagascar, which is the 4th largest in the world. Unless you count Australia, obviously.
Thank you, Carl. Now let's head over to Robert Roswell, who will tell us about the landforms of North Africa.
Thank you, Ted. Today on Joyous Mistakes, I'm going to teach you all about how to paint North Africa and tell you about the many happy landforms that inhabit this area. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. We start by painting the Atlas mountain range in the northwest part of the continent, so follow along and do as I do. See? It's that easy. Now, we'll paint the Libyan Desert and part of the Sahara Desert, which is the largest desert in the world. Can you believe that? Now we'll paint Lake Nasser and part of the Nile River, which is the second longest river in the world, but only 27th in volume. It's fed by Lake Victoria, but we'll get to that next episode. For now, it'll just be our little secret. Now here's a fun fact for you. The Nile leaves behind fertile slime when it floods every year. Can you believe that? Now we're going to finish by painting the Nubian Desert. And that was today's episode of Joyous Mistakes. Thank you very much for inviting me into your home again, and I'll see you all next time.
Thanks, Bobbert. Now we'll head to Raccoon Microwave, the cousin of Bear Grylls, who will tell us about the flora and fauna of North Africa. I'm out here in the northern part of the Sahara Desert. There are very few plants and animals here because they're all trying to hide underground and beat the heat. There are, however, large date palm trees, just like that one. They pop out of nowhere. It's crazy. Some very important crops that grow around the Nile are maize and wheat. Maize is a mixture of rice and beans, and it's very important to the late Egyptians. Also, North Africa is known as wine country, and you can guess what they grow there. They grow pomegranates. Some wild animals also live in the desert, and in the nighttime you can see hyenas, jackals and red foxes, as well as camels. In the Nile and northwestern part of Africa, you can see hippos, crocodiles, wild boars, and some leopards. Thanks, Raccoon. To close off North Africa, we'll head over to Cliffhanger, who will tell us about the climate.
In North Africa, we have hot and dry summers, mild and humid winters, and it's normally 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, with 130 to 315 inches of rainfall year-round.
Now we move to Central Africa, which is mainly just a desert. Back to you, Bobbert.
Well, hey there, viewers. It's me again, Bobbert Rossell, and I'm in your house again for another episode of Joyous Mistakes. Today, we're going to be painting the central part of the African continent. Starting on the west side, we'll paint the Niger River, which is the 3rd longest river in Africa. Now we're going to move east and paint the Chad Lake and the Congo River. My neighbor's name is Chad. Well, it used to be anyway. See? Anyone can paint. It just takes a little practice. Now we're going to finish up Central Africa by painting the Blue and White Nile Rivers, which are tributaries of the Big Nile River, and Lake Victoria, which feeds into the Nile River and is the 2nd largest freshwater lake in the world. Remember, I told you to keep that a secret. We're also going to paint Lake Turkana, Lake Tana, and Mount Ras de Giorno in the Ethiopian highlands, which is 14,927 feet above the happy little ocean.
Moving on, back to Raccoon.
Oi! Oi! Raccoon! 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 Get him some water! Raccoon! 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 Oh, oh, crikey! Crikey! I don't...
Well, as you can see, Raccoon is demonstrating how incredibly hot it can get in the Sahara Desert. I'm sure it'll be fine. On another note, Central Africa is mainly just a giant desert, so there's not a lot of plants and animals. But some of the animals that you can find are rattlesnakes, scorpions, and ostriches. And then you could also be able to find many different cactuses. Cactis. Cacti? Cactuses. However you say that. Lots of those things. Now back to Cliffhanger to talk about climate.
Hot and dry, Ted.
Phenomenal, Cliff. Finally, we head back to Bobbert to finish his 3-part series of joyous mistakes on South Africa.
Hi there, folks. I'm Bobbert Russell, and I promise I'm going to get you that rent check next week for all the time I've been spending in your homes. We're going to switch things up today and start on the east side of Africa and work our way west. First, we're going to paint Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the biggest happy little mountain in Africa at 19,880 feet. And we're also going to paint Lake Tangerine and Lake Milwaukee. You know, we got a Milwaukee here in the States too. Small world, huh? We're going to finish today's episode of Joyous Mistakes by painting the Zambezi River, which, you might know, is the largest river in East Africa and home to the wondrous Victoria Falls. And we're also going to paint the Kalahari and Namib deserts and the Orange River. And that was today's episode of Joyous Mistakes. I'm Bobbert Russell, and until next time, you can find me in the basement.
That was beautiful, Bobbert. Now we'll head back to Raccoon to see if how he has recovered, and let him tell us about the flora and fauna of South Africa. I've never been better. Thanks, Ted. South Africa is home to many abundant plant and savannas and tropical rainforests. In fact, 70% of the flora and fauna in the Cape Floral Kingdom can only be found there, nowhere else in the world. Elephants, lions, giraffes, and zebras inhabit the savannas, along with over 200 species of snakes and 40,000 species of insects. Thanks, Raccoon. Lastly, to top it all off, we'll head to Cliff for the climate.
That's right, Ted. Climate is great. South Africa has a very diverse climate ranging from dry deserts to moist rainforest and temperate grasslands.
Nice job, Cliff. This has been our news story on the geography of Africa. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.